Alrighty. So today's Tuesday. It's almost 10:30 at night. Um, I came to class today. I saw the first batch of presentations. Um, I think that there were a lot of spaces to improve. I got a request to make some kind of like tips email announcement. Um, Number one, I'm feeling lazy. I don't feel like typing everything out. And number two, I think that it would be more beneficial to you if I were to show you examples from your peers. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go to Course Assistant, pick some of the presentations as examples, and I'm just going to give you some reasons why I don't like the slide decks. Um, as a preface to that, Um, this is no hate to any of the groups. Don't get offended if I roast your presentation. This is purely for learning purposes. Um, yeah, and in other news, office hours will be happening this Thursday. Check the announcement for details. Um, yeah, and also I'm hoping that by doing this, the groups that are going later this week will have a better idea of what to expect. And maybe I can hold them to a higher standard. But with that being said, um, I guess I'll share my screen. Also, I'm just doing like a Zoom recording. This is not edited by any means, and I don't really know which presentations I'm going to show. Um, so this is just me going off the bat. But yeah, maybe we'll just flip through some examples. It's a good place to start. All right, okay. So this is one of the groups that went today in class. This is group 18. Also, most of the groups, this is milestone 2, I just graded it. Most of the groups did pretty well. If you didn't earn full points, it's either because I couldn't access your videos or you were missing something that was required for this milestone, whether that was a technical demo or the slides or like some kind of business milestone. It didn't have to be slides. It could have been like interview highlight reel or something. But if you gave me slides to look at, um, I can hopefully give you some feedback. Also, I did get kind of lazy towards the end. Some of the feedback I gave was short. So I'm also hoping by doing this video that we can go into more details. But with that being said, um, so this group, so a few things looking at these slides, tiny text like this is not needed. No one's going to read that. These slides have a ton of words on them. And one thing you're going to hear Dr. Cho say a lot is keep wording to a minimum. Things like diagrams like these, you should also use meaningfully. So don't just put figures and diagrams for the sake of putting figures and diagrams. Um, Make sure that they contribute to whatever it is that you're doing or saying. Um, yeah, my biggest thing with this presentation is that there are too many words, and the words I do see are really small and hard to read, even if I were to put them on a presentation, or a projector, I mean. So, yeah. Another thing, you don't need to put pricing as part of your presentation, just because that's not something you can really know or predict at this point. Um, yeah, my biggest thing with this presentation is that there's just too many words. It's really, really small. Another thing which would have benefited this presentation is looking at like a market analysis of or like a competitor analysis. So maybe I don't think I see it here, but if they were to have, looked at their competition and said something to the degree of like, hey, this is the market value of our competitors. These are the things that they do, and then our product pissed is actually gonna do these other things better, blah blah blah. Like if you had done something to that degree, that would have been an interesting pitch to the investor. But yeah. Let's see, who else can I pick on? Let's see, what's this girl?
Welcome to our presentation.
Okay, so
We
a few notes here. You don't need an AI voiceover, especially if you're presenting in class, because what's going to happen is you're going to show your slides to the class this week at least, and then you're going to get feedback at the same time from either me or Dr. Cho. Again, the slides here are way too wordy. You also don't need AI captions. Um, yeah. Also, the thing with this is that all of this, like motivation, core insight, problem, this should be addressed with the grandma grandpa video. Um, excuse me. You don't need to reiterate these pieces in your presentation slides. So a good structure would be like grandma grandpa video, which is your advertisement. Then you move into convincing the investor. Then you move into convincing the technical expert. Then you finish it off with like a tech demo. So yeah, you don't need these types of slides in your presentation. Also, like something like this, a lot of things are happening. It's a confusing slide to look at. There are too many words once again with this diagram especially. And like if I were to like take a glance at this, I wouldn't really know where to draw my attention. Like there's a better way to do the market opportunity than this. Um, yeah, same here. Like, yes, there is a market, but this isn't the way to show it. Um, okay, here. So one thing I did kind of like was like this style of table where you look at the features and then you compare like different competitors. Um, my advice if you're doing this, especially if you're doing something that has a ton of competitors, pick the competition which is the most profitable and then the ones that are very closely aligned to like what you do. Um, yeah. Yeah, because there's again too many things happening on the side. Um, this is interesting information, interesting numbers, but this isn't the way to present it that's um what's the word? Meaningful. Let's see. This one, I don't know if this was supposed to be part of the technical expert convincing or the market investor convincing. Hmm. Because it's like erring on the side of like technical and market seems more technical, and this isn't technical enough to convince a technical investor. So I don't love this slide as well. Hmm. Yeah, again, like this doesn't give me much. I don't need to know um, what the AI summary does. I think it would be more meaningful for me to see a technical demo where I'm looking at you working the app and I can see AI summarizing some request or something. I don't know, but yeah, this needs some work. Also, another thing, try not to have boring slides. Like, make sure your slides have some work put into them. Also, it would be a nice touch if you had like a branding kit for your everything. Like, if the fonts and the colors that you use in your front end match the fonts and the colors that you use in the slides and in the presentation, in the market highlight reels, if you make any. So, yeah. Let's see. What is this? Okay, so this is a group that went today. I remember I saw their video. It felt too generic. Dr. Cho said that this wasn't a video which would convince the investor. So or sorry, convince grandma, grandpa. I don't think they included that though in this slide deck. No, they didn't. But um again, like super wordy. A lot of things are happening on these slides. Um, Dr. Cho is going to tell you that not as many people are going to read it. Once again, don't tell us about pricing. Don't focus on pricing. It's really hard to like pin a number down on that. Um, yeah. Why this will make you money? We don't need to tell the investor that, I don't think. Um, because you don't want to like pretend this is Shark Tank. And again, like things like pricing, things like subscription models, things like freemiums, um, you can't really talk about just yet. So, yeah. Um, let's see, what else can I pick on? Oh, this group, I want to talk about that. I think I remember. Okay. So they included some interviews, which I thought was a nice touch. So one thing you can do, one thing that my group actually did was we took our interviews, we edited them together, and we basically tried to establish this is our audience, our market. These are the core problems that they face. This is what they wish they had. Blah, 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 blah. So, one thing I'll say, and I'll actually walk through our demo video too, just to dissect it a little bit. One thing I'll say, if you can put like the logo of the company that your interviewee represents, or if you can put a little tiny, not so wordy caption of like senior VP at marketing firm called blah blah blah, president of this company, or director of operations at blah blah blah. That adds a lot of credibility to your interviews. And also, like at a glance, it's nice to know who it is that you're talking to. Like you didn't just pick some randos. Again, you don't have to put captions, but if someone you are interviewing maybe doesn't talk clearly or enunciate their words, by all means put captions. Um, Again, like if you are doing the grandma grandpa video, you don't really need to reiterate the problem to this degree. Um, the grandma grandpa video should do that job for you. You can, if you want, you could briefly mention some of the problems as a bridge to talking to the investor, but you don't have to like go into depth. Um, Again, just a lot of words. These slides are also on the boring side. And these numbers, like I'm seeing numbers, I don't really know what they mean unless I look at the tiny text. And Dr. Joe's going to say that no one's going to read the tiny text. So, yeah. I like seeing competitor analyses. Um, I think that there's a way better way to show this. Because again, lots of words, tiny text, hard to read. Um, but you should assess your market, assess your competitors, see what they're valued at, and see what you are doing that they are not doing. Yeah. Um, yeah. Also, a side note, if you haven't finished your interviews, you should 100% go do those by the end of this week, if not earlier, because these interviews are so important in getting testimonials to make your market case, to make your business case. Um, and you can use those clips from the interviews in your presentation. And that's really valuable, especially if you have like videos of people talking to you. Make sure you edit them, but yeah. Again, don't talk about pricing. You don't need to do that. Um, let's see, who else can I pick on? Oh, this group. Okay, I'm gonna pick on them because I did see them today. Um, they have a really cool idea. Like the wedding industry, if anyone's ever worked with event planners, is very big. My issues are these slides. Yeah, they look like really cool, but again, the font is way too small. Just at a glance, I don't know like what these numbers mean unless I read the tiny font. No one's gonna read the tiny font. Um, Tam Sam Sam, you can include this, but just make sure it's meaningful. I think what's even more meaningful is analyzing your competitors. So, yeah, again, this is way too tiny. Um, way too tiny. Um, it's like the thing is like these are just hard slides to read, not only because the text is tiny, but also we're looking at readability, right? Because the slide is white, the text is gray. Um, it's not easy on the eyes. Um, again, like this is cool, like seeing like a competitor analysis, but I would not put too many words. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess you can have a slide like this, but just make sure the words are bigger. Again, just too much text. Funding path. You don't need that. What's this? You don't need to talk about pricing. You don't need to talk about revenue streams right now. These are some interesting numbers, but I think you should pick the ones that are more meaningful and incorporate them a little bit earlier. We don't need to talk about profitability or how we're using the funds. Um, what's this? Okay, so these are interviews. Oh, so for this group, I would prefer to not see AI or stock images if you aren't able to get a video interview. If your person you're interviewing represents some kind of company or organization, you can put that logo instead, I guess. Um, hmm, I don't know. I prefer video interviews. I think that usually impacts more. Um, if you can't show me the interviewee's face, um, I think this is a good place to put captions. 'Cause I don't really know who, also, I don't know who is talking. That's the other thing, right? Because if I'm listening to this could be the vice president of JP Morgan that you're interviewing. That's really important. I wouldn't know that just looking at this. So I would put like a little caption like vice president of JP Morgan or something like that. Okay, yeah. See, video interviews are nicer. You can actually edit the quotes that they say and incorporate those into your presentation. But again, I would just put like a little logo or like a caption or something and say, this is the director of operations at this company or whatever it is. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. Look at the slide, guys. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? I don't know where it went, but that was a ton of words. You don't need so many words. Yeah, see, something like this is hard to read. Also, uh, yeah, and I don't know. I just don't like this diagram. I don't care who owns what. I don't really care about Tam Samsung. I care more about what your current competitors are doing. Um, I don't care about the revenue model. We don't know for sure if the USC network is actually, what does that mean? Acquisition deals. Are you saying that USC is going to acquire this? Huh. I don't know. We don't know if that's what you're saying. We don't know for sure if that's actually going to happen. Um, this part seems like it's technical and that should be saved for the tech investor part. So, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, this is their tech demo. Do they have slides? No, they don't. Who else can I pick on? I can't do these guys. Stakeholder presentation. Okay, this group. Again, too many words, hard to read slides. Uh, It's like, yes, it's nice that you did a market competition. Um, but I would like to see what is Layla valued at? What is Expedia Romy valued at? What is Mindtrip valued at? ChatGPT, I don't know if that's the one of your competitors. It seems too broad. Um, yeah, I don't like the slide. Oh, I don't know. Oh, my issue with this one was that it was a survey. I feel that interviews are more powerful than surveys because I also don't know who you surveyed. I know for sure who you interviewed. Um, yeah. I I would also say make sure you're checking grammar and spelling in your slides. Um, yeah. Promo video. Forgot what this is. Oh, okay. I have some issues with this. We don't need captions if you're already verbally saying things. Um, Also, be careful using just stock videos if those stock videos are just random clips that you've pieced together. Um, because then it's like boring, yawn. What am I looking at? Who are these randos? So I'm not being mean. I'm just saying the things that Dr. Joe would say, I think. Okay, let me see. What was this one? Business milestone two. Oh, is this their ad? Yeah. Yeah, so a few things. Be careful using AI to make your advertisements. Um, just because one, we can tell a lot of the times that it is AI, and there are so many like high quality AI animations and ads out there that if you give us like a low quality one, it's like it doesn't make you look great. Um, I would build a logo. I don't love this font. I don't love the captions once again if you're already verbally saying those points. Um, yeah. Also with words like this, right? Like if I were to actually take a second to read some of the stuff on the AI ads, obviously these aren't real words. It doesn't look great. Like that's obviously not GitHub. Um, close blot software. I don't know what that is. Um, yeah, that's the thing. Be careful with AI ads. Also, if you're having your AI ad characters talk, make sure their mouths are actually moving. Um, yeah. Also, this kind of is boring. Not gonna lie. What else is there? remember this group today. So their slides just felt too plain. I think especially if you're doing something in the creative industries, there is opportunity to lean into that more, have more fun with the slides. Um, I want some more detail with how you analyze your competitors when you're telling me about it. Again, tell me how much they're valued like you did, but then also if you want, tell me the features that they have that you have, the features that they don't have that you have, like at a high level. Um, yeah. For your interviews, if you're gonna edit them and put them into um your presentation, edit yourself out, and then I would put um the logo or something of whatever company or organization that this person represents. So I'm aware that there's some credibility to him. And like multiple interviews would serve you well. Uh, I think I'm repeating myself in a lot of these, but we'll do just a little bit more. Yeah, again, slides are way too wordy. Um, yeah, like, there's just a lot of words. The slides are boring. Don't tell me about pricing. Yeah, okay. There's someone else can regrade here. I think I'm re-emphasizing the point again and again. Um, I wonder. Can I do this group? Yeah, so like something like this, you don't need to tell me the problem again. The grandma grandpa video should have already told me the problem. There's also too many words. Um, Market evaluation is obviously needed and good, but I wonder if they compare. Hmm. I don't know if they do this, but I would like to see who your competitors are. Interview insights. See, this would be more meaningful if I had clips of them telling me this. So a clip of Talia saying, I wish this was a thing. A clip of Lauren saying, I would have definitely used this, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you can get them to say it, that would be more impactful, I think. If this is for the market person, it's not good enough. As for if it's for the technical person, it's not technical enough. I don't think this slide is needed. This slide I didn't love just because there's all this white space here. Um, I mean, again, you can have this, but I don't know. I think it needs something to bring the point home. How we make money, I don't need that. Don't tell me about pricing. I'm assuming that this is also about pricing. Don't tell me about pricing. Okay, so I roasted a bunch of presentations. I wonder, before I move on, can I roast some demo video or some advertising video? I did try to give you guys feedback. I don't know if you've read it. Okay, so this one I didn't love because this group, they're doing like a graphic design ad or like a graphic design helper type of thing. Um,
I want it cleaner, but not too simple. more premium, but still playful. Maybe modern, but warm. Not too bold, but it should stand out.
So here's the thing. One issue, these guys are talking, but their mouths don't match up with the talking. I don't like that. It's weird. Second, I don't I didn't truly understand what this is an advertisement for until I saw the following slides where they showed me their market presentation. I feel like that's not the best way to introduce an idea.
A cleaner, premium look that still feels warm and approachable.
So that's why I didn't love this one. Mm,
Every message essentially just triggers as next
okay. So I'd seen this.
37 different agencies need sign off. How is anyone supposed to make a film like this? And finding a location that isn't impossible to permit. We're buried. But then it hit me. The solution was right there all along. With SenSync, it's streamlined. We're back on.
I like that you included someone from the industry. I know it's AI. One thing though, I feel like it's talking too fast for grandma grandpa. Um,
When a student applies to universities abroad, it's never just about the student. It's together, but here then resumes
okay,
pile
a few notes. If you're, I think the preference is usually for real life looking people, not animated things. So I don't love mixing the animation styles. Like I think it's better to just stick to
universities abroad.
real life looking people. Um, Next, if you're again gonna use AI, make sure that things are readable and make sense. If you're having someone verbally say things, there's no need for captions. Um, yeah, I just don't love mixing animation styles. So I'd say keep it consistent. Make sure your videos aren't boring. Like the point of this is to grab attention. Um, who else can I pick on?
Hi, this is Batu. Welcome to Milestone One progress.
Oh, there's an ad there. Um, okay, so I remember this ad. One issue I had is like you're just throwing words behind stock images or stock videos. Um, no one's gonna read these words. And if you're gonna use stock video, make sure that you're using it meaningfully. Like you're not just throwing clips together. Um, I will say too, guys, you can act out your ads. Like you can have like a skit and you can act it out. You can make your own voiceovers. You don't have to use an AI voiceover. So, yeah.
MediMatch AI, your smart hub.
Okay, so this one, first of all, the flashy text is distracting a little bit and might not be easy on the eyes for certain people.
Healthcare assistant.
I
Find a
also
doctor in a new city.
don't love how this kind of just has so many words on it. It's boring and I'm not gonna read these words.
Confusing exams. And every record care system. Find a doctor. Check.
Yeah, so these videos, I just want to say you should be having fun with them and they should be creative. Like
10 and 17 bread.
I actually kind of liked this idea of like a skit. And I'm sure they might make more iterations of this, and I'm kind of hoping this isn't the final one. Like I would prefer it if this was like landscape and not portrait. But I do like that they came up with a skit. I think it's more creative that way, more attention grabbing.
Happening to you? Well, try Tenant Link, where you can make.
But yeah, come up with like skits, come up with like interesting ideas, come up with like sketches, or come up with like stories or something relatable. I don't want you to just feed like a description of your product to an LLM and then say, make me a video. Like, that's not the point of this.
Why can't I ever catch any fish?
Oh, this video was fun. Um, I think maybe with the AI stuff, there's like room for improvement, but I did like how they presented like a problem, like there was something relatable-ish to it, and then they present the solution as their app. Again, I would prefer to see like real words, which makes sense. Um, but I think for an AI ad, like this was one of the more fun ones that I liked and I saw today. Uh, yeah, okay. I think I've gone through a good chunk of these. So another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my final presentation video. I just want to preface before I get into this by saying that there is no one correct way to do the final presentation video. So I don't want you to watch mine and go, wow, that's the only way to do it. We have to copy exactly what their group did. Because no, whatever worked for my group might not work for your group. So it doesn't make sense to do that. Um, yeah. Secondly, like I'm not saying that my presentation video was like the best video ever. There's always room for improvement. But this is what we ended up turning in for the very last deadline. So another thing too, we actually chose to all meet up and do this in person. You can film it on Zoom, like I'm filming this feedback video for you right now if you choose. Um but yeah, I would I'll just walk through this. So
Third derivative, and we're proud to share your review system that never sleeps.
this was our
Planning your
ad.
next event shouldn't feel like this.
Yes,
Or like
we
this.
did use stock video for this entire thing. But as you can probably tell, I voiced over everything. And we also tried to make the use of stock video meaningful, so it wasn't just random clips, like which like,
Yikes. I mean, shouldn't it feel more like this? Or like this?
So
Aw, how adorable. Yours AI assistant can provide curated.
I will let you watch that on your own time. But one thing that we want that was important to us was branding. Nerali, who's in my group, she actually drew this logo for us. We spent a lot of time like choosing fonts, choosing color schemes. And then what's cool is that we actually deployed this onto GoDaddy. So you can actually scan the QR code, try it yourself. We were pretty extra. You don't have to do this by any means, but another thing that my group did was we actually went to FedEx in the village and we printed business cards and we handed these out to all of the people that were watching our presentation in class. And you could actually scan the same QR code that's there to try our app. So, yeah, you don't have to do that. We were just very passionate about this. Okay.
The assistant that never sleeps, available now for desktop and mobile. Whether you've planned an event or you've attended the event as a guest, you know how stressful organizing the event and finding the answers to questions can get. We wanted to get some more insights, so we reached out to our network of friends, connections, and colleagues. Not only learn more about the kinds of events that they've planned, but also understand the critical challenges that they face throughout the way. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Yeah, so another thing too, we edited our like interviews together. So we had something where you could like meet the target audience. And for every person that we put up on the screen, we put up whatever like organization or like demographic they represented. So we had like friends from USC, friends from hackathons, um, friends from Capital One, um, and then we like edited clips.
That was really hard, especially since it's a college event on a college campus. And another issue that we did have was with sponsorship because it is really hard, like reaching out to companies.
Auditing. So ensuring that your data is correct across various systems, be hotel room blocks. It's always email, maybe a touch base with a Zoom or a phone call of certain group text chain.
So we asked, so I think you've seen our like question list, which I've sent out in an email blast. We've also took specific pieces. So one of the questions we asked were like, what were the problems you face? And then having those answers made it really easy to just edit everything together. So that was nice. So we also did like a competitor analysis. We looked at two of our biggest competitors, one being Eventbrite, one being HoneyBook. Um, Again, we kept wording to a minimum, big words, easy to read, dark background, light text. Um, ah, we did like a competitor analysis like this. Again, keeping wording to a minimum.
Also supports the use of an AI.
We wanted to highlight the technical features. This was our transition from market investor to technical expert. So we talked about key features that we have that other people in the competition don't have. And then this brought us pretty much into the technical side. So for the technical stuff, we again kept wording to a minimum. We only put the symbols of the tools that we used. Um, and then for our final demo, we actually did a voiceover and we recorded this, we edited it.
Shown on Steve's tablet. And the
We
tablet will show you
also went to the USC podcast room, rented it out for a couple hours, and recorded the voiceovers.
the guest perspective in the group chat. I can also ask her to integrate these hashtags with the help of Dolly to
Some dedicated hashtags are shown below to make requests or look for images provided they add.
Yeah, so another thing too, because this project was like a back end, a front end on the phone, a front end on the web, um, we actually did have it set up. I think Steve used Zoom or Discord. You'd have to ask him, but we had it set up so that in real time you could see all three screens being shown on the same recording. So that was also convenient for us. But yeah, I'll stop sharing here. I hope that was helpful. I hope that I highlighted some of the key issues that we're seeing in the presentations. I know this was pretty long, but I hope that this was useful and that you can hopefully implement some of these into your presentations. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or come to office hours and we can talk about it further. So yeah, thank you and have a good night.